Kia has just had their annual EV day. And so we got some new concepts that I want to show you guys because it is pretty exciting. On the front, this is the EV5. Now, it'll be made in China, it'll be made in Korea, but the recent news we're hearing about the EV5, which is kind of like a shrunken down EV9, is that the EV5 might not come to the United States because it won't be built here, therefore it won't qualify for the EV tax credits. So don't get your hopes up for the EV5 stateside, but it could come to Canada, it could come to Mexico, other parts of North America, but maybe not for the United States. So stay tuned on that. But I want to talk about these other two concepts mainly that we got here. On the right is this EV3, and the left is this EV4. And they talked a lot about pricing here because they know they need to make EVs cheaper. And so they want to focus all the way as low as $30,000. I mean, after 2030, in theory, EVs will be down to $20,000 that are, have 250 miles of range, etc. But in the near term, it's that $30,000 price point that they want to hit at. If we look at Chevy and the Equinox EV, they want to be around $30,000 as well. We know all the way up to $80,000 is going to be the topped out EV9, which I think, right here we have a pricing. Look at this. I mean, EV9 GT, and there's potentially this is a GT line. The GT version of it with over 500 horsepower or whatever is going to be coming probably $80,000 plus. So the EV9 is very, very expensive for what it is. If you want long range, the bigger battery, it's still a very underpowered vehicle with around 200 horsepower. So I really want to test it out, but man, is it expensive. I think a lot of you would probably just rather have a Telluride, which is going to save you probably $20,000 and give you the same sort of functionality. All right. EV6 little brothers, EV3 and EV4. Let's get into the what's going on here. It is pretty exciting. So these vehicles will come in probably around $35,000, I would say. Let's start with the EV4. The EV4 is kind of like a sedan looking thing sitting under the EV6 that we currently have. And the design for me looks like a refreshed EV6 in a lot of ways. So it's more futuristic lighting. And then you get to the back, and the back it's kind of like this coupe crossover style of design. And I think it looks good until you hit the back window area, and then it just gets really messy for me. I'll talk about the interior in a little bit. Like, look at this, guys, the sloping roofline. I don't mind it, but how it finishes here just doesn't look right. The front end's cute. I think it's angular. It's futuristic. The back end, it's too much for me to swallow. All right, let's get on the interior because I think Kia is going to be showing us some pretty cool stuff with the interiors of the EV4 and EV3. We have new cloth sort of patterns here that are accented with synthetic leather. And I like this little panel. This actually pops out. Yes, you have like this LED ambient lighting going on here around the dash, around the floor, which is nice. And I'm a sucker for tan interiors, so that is a point in my book. But if we look at this slider, it's a touch capacitive slider. All the buttons are gone. Right here, it is sucked back into the dash area. So you have this clamshell-like control panel that disappears if you don't need it. Now we have this big screen. Typically, this is like a dual screen going on, but it looks like Kia wants to move to one big screen, left to right here. And traditionally, it's two 12-inch screens in Kia and Hyundai EVs that we see. I don't know what to think of these oblong steering wheels. I would like to have a traditional circular steering wheel because it's easier to predict. But if this is steer-by-wire like the Lexus RZ, you can make the steering wheel almost any sort of size and form that you want. When you go to the carnival games and you shoot the little water gun thing, that's kind of what we're going for here with the modern steering wheels with steer-by-wire. Very minimal interior, but the materials look nice. I like this. Okay, I thought it was just my screen, but there's actually is there a scuff here on this render? That's really strange. And then we get back to the fabric. So we go from like this leather-like plastic, and it kind of reminds me of what we see in some of the Genesis products. But again, this is in theory going to be a $35,000 starting vehicle. Another look from the top. And I want to get into the EV3, which I think is a much more handsome electric car. The proportions here are just much more tasteful in my opinion. And this looks like it to be their competitor to the Volvo EX30, kind of like a subcompact electric car. So this guy might even start at a lower price than the EV4 that we just looked at. And like the EX30 from Volvo, we have this kind of epoxy pattern that you would coat your garage floor with. But that's the plastic. It's probably a recycled type of plastic. That's just kind of how it comes out. But I like it. It's better than glossy black, in my opinion, by a mile. And yeah, the proportions on this are spot on. The design on this is spot on. You know, the lights on the EV9 are a little much to me. The lights on the EV5 are a little much for me. But here on the EV3, everything looks very compact, very tanky, very substantial. What do you guys think of the EV3? This concept to me is the winner over the EV4, absolutely, and the EV5 in my opinion, which EV5 will not be coming, but the EV3 and EV4 more than likely coming to the United States, EV5 more unlikely to come. So we have more cloth-like interior here, more fabric, which I'm a big fan of. I like this green fabric contrast. You have these little pockets on the doors that can have some storage, additional storage down below. The steering wheel is the same sort of shape we just saw. And yeah, the console here in the middle, or lack thereof, is just like the EV4, dual screen, or should I say the future of dual screen, which is just one big screen. You know, I like how they actually have side mirrors here instead of digital side mirrors that most electric vehicle concepts have. So I appreciate that. Let me know what you think of the back seat. Look how small these seats are. The smaller the seat, the more interior space you're going to have for passengers and the more legroom. So really appreciate the sort of design they have going on here. And this is almost like a computer chair sort of headrest, kind of like fabric lined. How well will it hold up over time? Not 100% sure, but having a style like this definitely reduces weight and increases, like I said, space in the cabin. I wish we had a look at the cargo capacity of both of these, or just the cargo bay area, but it is what it is. Again, ambient lighting here looks like it's at the bottom to illuminate the footwells, but we have less ambient lighting, it seems like, around the dash, which is okay. But I expect this vehicle to look about 99% the same by the time it comes to the United States and be built here probably in the United States in their Georgia plants. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to look a lot like this. And to me, it's much more desirable of a vehicle and be more affordable of a vehicle compared to that EV4 we just looked at. Again, Kia has and will be adopting the North American charging standard, the one that Tesla uses on their cars and their supercharging network. So it's going to be in their cars as soon as the fourth quarter 2024, so a year from now. Also, they're building their own charging network with Honda, Stellantis, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, etc., to build 30 fast charging stations across North America by 2030. Going forward, Kia will continue to showcase new electric models, concepts, and groundbreaking technologies at EV Day each year and leverage the event as a platform for the brand to present its progressive EV strategy and vision for future mobility. So absolutely, you can expect this to be an annual thing. It's pretty exciting. So we're missing EV1, EV2. Oh, we don't have EV7 or EV8 yet. They skipped from EV6 to EV9. So maybe the EV7 and EV8 could be minivans. We know Kia has the Carnival, used to be the Sedona. So I bet one of them will be a minivan, which I'm all for. Love to see some competition out there for the electric minivans, because there's really nothing other than the ID Buzz, which has been delayed, and it's gonna be very, very expensive, which I'm sure their electric Carnival variant will be expensive as well. But maybe they also have an electric pickup truck that they could build. So maybe that would be like an EV7 or something. I don't know. I'll see you guys down below what other vehicles you think you want to see in the Kia EV lineup. I'm excited for them. The EV6 is a fantastic electric car. Make sure to watch my review on it. I just like the styling of the Ioniq 5 a little bit better, and that's a route I would be going if I was getting a Korean EV, or I'd be getting the Genesis. Oh man, Genesis has 3 really good electric cars. They're all very expensive, but there's also the GV60, which is essentially a luxury version of the EV6. But I got to shut it down. I could talk about cars all day. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more updates from the auto industry. Have a great day and peace.